Hello, and we're here to talk about Shingo Takagi picking up the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. You know, that new one, which no one likes, but I kind of don't mind all that much. I'm just going to go, talk about the match, how I felt the match went, and maybe some thoughts on the future for Shingo now being IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So, full disclosure, I went into this match thinking, you know what? I think they're going to put the belt on Okada because that new belt and it's like a restart, it feels like, although the lineage isn't 100% gone. But I was like, okay, new belt, tumultuous time, lost on the first defense by Ibushi, and then Ospreay has to vacate it. I'm just like, yeah, put it on Okada. He can hold it for maybe 6 to 12 months whilst they build either Kota Ibushi back up or they build Shingo up even stronger. Maybe even Sanada, you know? But let's talk about the match in itself. I've got a couple notes. I'm not going to go beat for beat. I definitely recommend you watch this match. Like any New Japan match, they're intense and long, and they really flow. There's ups and downs, and the match is slow and fast. So I definitely recommend you go and check out this match. So let's just run over some stuff. So the match does start off very technical, as most Okada matches generally do. There's a lot of slow starts, coming and going, rest. In WWE, they'd call them rest holds, but in New Japan, I don't feel like they're rest holds because that all tells the story, because the rest holds, for lack of a better term, are almost there to they portray them as they're really digging into these body parts, which does come into play at points in this match. So Shingo has a lot of answers to stuff Okada does throughout this match. So Okada will get a little bit of offense in, but Shingo will cut it short. I don't think there's at any point where Okada gets a really extensive run of offense. Maybe a little bit in the middle it was about a 35 minute match, I'd say. And Okada never really gets going. I think at most he'll get 5 to 7 minutes in the middle of the match where he's really fully in charge of the flow, which I guess is a good way of them building Takagi as this as champion, because he's keeping Okada at bay. So throughout this match, and the commentary is very helpful for this, especially because I only will dip in and out of New Japan for the big events mostly, and I keep up with the results and stuff from time to time. The commentary really helped, demonstrating the story that, yeah, Takagi has been the guy that's worked the most in New Japan in singles matches for the past year. He's had a lot of singles matches. They've all been really long. And also, Okada is still recovering from this back injury. I mean, I wouldn't be, obviously, the injuries they use are basically always real. And these New Japan wrestlers, much like most wrestlers probably, are willing to work through the pain because they just love the craft so much. So Takagi is really targeting Okada's back. There's one thing I thought was really amazing where I wasn't actually sure the move Okada was going for, but he was there, and Takagi was there, and I'd think you'd hit your opponent's back to get out of that. Takagi gets his elbow and he drives it into Okada's lower back, and I'm like, oh my god. I would think it was smart just to hit them in the lower back, but to drive, and it wasn't like he was whacking him, he was just needling it with his elbow, and I was like, I've never seen someone do that before, and I was like, this is amazing. And so there's a lot of stuff on the outside of the ring as well. I'm sorry, I'm jumping a little bit here. There is a decent amount of offense on the outside. It really works into working over Okada's back, being driven into the ring steps. Okada hits, he big boots Takagi over the barricades, because they use the steel barricades, and then he DDTs Takagi, and Takagi almost like spikes himself for this. And also later on, Takagi hits a, God, I've forgotten the name of the Made in Japan on the outside, which I was like, oh my god, dude, you guys are just killing each other here, please. But yeah, they're really putting in a lot into Takagi. A lot of the time he has answers for Okada. So like I said, in the middle of the match, Okada gets some explosive offense, because throughout the match up until that point, he's always been it feels like he's working a little bit slower because of his back and the mind games and stuff that the commentary really leaned into. Like he's thinking about the lineage. I know in the build up he was really thinking about the lineage of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Until the middle of the match where he started getting a little bit more explosive offense. But after 6 to 7 minutes, Takagi picks up on it. And so Okada will get a couple things in. So Takagi will get Okada up. Well, they'll hit a move. Okada will be in the corner selling. Takagi's coming in. He's running. He's trying to hit a clothesline. Okada kicks him in the face. But Takagi straight away gets back in with another lariat. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of the story they're building here, where Takagi feels like he's almost half a step ahead of Okada. And this really starts to play in towards the finish of the match, where throughout the match, Okada's been using the money clip a lot on Takagi, because in the past, he's beaten Takagi with a money clip. He made him pass out. So he's using that a lot. And also, both, like, Takagi in particular was getting very handsy with Red Shoes, because Red Shoes was trying to, like, separate them, and Takagi was like, I'm not having any of this. And Red Shoes being Red Shoes is like, whoa, dude, listen, I'm just trying to ref here. But also, Red Shoes always adds to the story. I love when referees add to the story. I know AEW does that a little bit as well. I don't think WWE does that anymore, which is a bit of a shame, in my opinion. And, I mean, towards the end of the match, Okada's trying to hit the Rainmaker, and he just can't get it off. And twice, Takagi reverses the Rainmaker, and that kind of feeds into the end of the match. So Takagi reverses a Rainmaker with his own Rainmaker, and then they get up and they're both trading moves. So Takagi gets Okada up for Last of the Dragon. Okada reverses it into a tombstone position, gets reversed into Last of the Dragon position, gets reversed again into a tombstone, and then Takagi reverses that and hits a dragon neck break, a dragon suplex, which always I'm just terrified of, because I'm like, oh my god, you guys, if you're landing on your necks, please, that move always terrifies me. Then Takagi comes and hits Okada with a sliding elbow. Then he gets him up for the Last of the Dragon, hits it in one fell swoop, and gets the 3 count. And I'm like, going into this match, I wouldn't have believed it if you said Takagi was going to win this match. But watching this match, I'm like, okay, yeah, it makes sense Takagi won. He really had an answer for a lot of what Okada was doing. And he felt like he was just that step ahead of him, that little bit faster. And so, after this match, the celebrations, Takagi calls out Ibushi to be his first challenger. And Ibushi's like, yeah, fuck it, let's go, mate. New Japan very rarely plays silly buggers with their matches unless it's fucking Evil is your champion and then 10 people will come out for the assist. So, I think Takagi will win that match, and it'll send Okada on another route. It's weird because they don't have an Intercontinental Championship. Obviously, they've got the Never Championship, but I think that's not something Ibushi will go after. But yeah, I think really, if they want to do this well, I think don't do what you did with Ibushi and have him drop it after one defense. Have him keep it until, I don't know what the next. I don't think Sakura Genesis is the next event, isn't it? There's one big one from here before. There's a big one from here, and then it goes into the build up to Wrestle Kingdom in January. I think it might be Sakura Genesis. I'm not 100% sure, but at that point, then I would maybe think about Shingo dropping it, and then him winning the briefcase to then challenge for the title at Wrestle Kingdom. If you're going to make Takagi drop it. If not, have him keep it until Wrestle Kingdom. And then at Wrestle Kingdom, if you've built someone to a point where you think there'd be a really good winner. I don't know. Maybe I'd go for Kota Ibushi again and then let him pick it up again there. In the meantime, we could have Takagi beat the likes of Tanahashi. Maybe give him Sanada. Obviously, he's got Ibushi first. Tanahashi, maybe Sanada. He'll face off against. I mean, it also depends on when Will Ospreay comes back, because when Ospreay comes back, he'll obviously be the first contender for that title upon his return. Maybe Jeff Cobb could get a shot at that, being like, you couldn't actually beat Will for this title. No, I'm going to win this title off you for Will. I don't know. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of the match. Let me know what you think they're going to do with Shingo going forward. It's really, like, I didn't expect Shingo Takagi to win, but I'm also kind of glad because I'm like, this is different. Takagi is great. He's so cool. So let me know what you thought. Thank you for watching, and hey, go watch some wrestling today.